What's up, players? This is Bill, and that's Marty.
How you doing?
We are from the SITREP Podcast Command Team, and we are bringing you the next exciting rulebook review. This time, we're diving into Dishdash Games. Didn't we just do one from Dishdash?
Well, you know, they're very prolific.
So this time, we're looking at the World War II version of Ultracombat Normandy.
Yes. Now that we kind of did them backwards, though, because this
Really?
did come out before.
Well, I haven't posted the video. I could have. Now you ruined it because now you said that. Now I got to do it in that order.
Oh, we'll edit this out. They'll never see it.
Anywho, so we are now reviewing the second book, or actually this book came out before the Ultracombat Modern rules did, for their skirmish games. Yeah, so this one, it's a World War II version of Ultracombat Modern in a sense, right?
Similar.
Similar, right?
It's not the
Nathan
exact
wrote
same
this
mechanics.
along with Colin.
That's right. Nate and Colin, love you brothers.
Yep, and Chris Bennett, was a play tester, and Michael, who's a friend of the show, and a few other people. Again,
And
nice contents.
content. TOC.
Great. Sure. This one is, again, really, let's talk about layout design. Full color pictures, a lot of miniatures pictures. You want to give us an overhead there shot there, brother?
Bam.
Front is left. Okay. So as you can see, hey, stop being crooked. What's that? MG42.
It's a big gun.
What's that?
Another big gun.
Come on, you should know what that one is, American.
A bar.
BAR, baby. So you've got some nice graphics. You've got pictures of miniatures in action. You've got some actual World War II photos. And you have graphic design of the player cards. The cards are very similar to the cards in Ultracombat Modern in aspects.
Yep, they are, and they're all similar in layout. Whether it's it'll tell you what the element is. So whether it's an officer, an NCO, a junior NCO, a rifleman, whatever.
Right.
It has everything's in the same place, so you know where to look.
Exactly. So the book is well laid out. Each section is laid out. You can flip this back. So, you go into your, platoon, squad, elements. So, again, almost similar to Modern, but this time you have element, versus a fire team. Okay? But you still have platoon and squads. Tank hunting. So, this is really geared towards World War II. You have novice, average, and veteran for your experience level. There's no elite, like you would have special forces in modern day. But, you still have the same type of modifiers. Combat phases, very similar in a lot of aspects. Again, this basically takes the book. We just happen to have both here.
I know.
Did you want to point out your...
I do. All right, so. All right. You see this guy? Ah! You see that guy? Ah! It's the same dude. I'm telling you. It's like Casca, the Eternal Warrior. Or Eternal Soldier.
Eternal Soldier, yeah. So, again, I'm looking at, weapons and... they get into 60 millimeter mortars and, types like that, melee combat.
Big trench knife in there.
I love those trench knives. World War I design. Hey, that's that famous French girl, the resistance fighter. She, killed a whole bunch of Germans when she was, 16.
I thought you were going to say, paint me like one of your French girls.
You have scenarios. Again, it goes into almost the same thing, where you start with the element, and then go into the squad and the platoon. So
kind of builds up
because
escalation.
Here it's mission 1 is scouting.
Which,
appropriate
way to start out.
Exactly. The nice thing about these is you have tactic cards like you do in, I don't think we talked about tactic cards in Modern, did we?
The doctrine cards?
Yeah.
We didn't, not specifically.
We're a bunch of losers. But
another video. That's what I'm hearing.
You'll see those in play.
I was going to say, we'll address those when we do our Let's Play and go into the rules.
So again, they design out your, playing area. Everything builds upon itself. Marty? So it builds upon your scenarios, build upon each other. You know, you go up there, advance the contact. You know, you started as a scout. You're finding your enemy placements, and you move on up to clear down La Patrie Road. I believe that's how you pronounce that. My French is not so good. So, sorry, Greg, if you're watching. Okay. So, the book itself, well laid out. Again, it's very similar in a lot of aspects to the modern. This one did come first, so I don't know if they would consider this a test run for the modern book. The layout being very similar in a lot of ways.
I don't know. I would say it was a test run, but it certainly I would say was inspirational in their design of Ultracombat Modern.
Right. So I mean, again, it's well laid out. The playing cards, if you did not get the decks, are in the back.
Yep.
So you can remove the pages if you will, and just use these, or you could print them. I think are they
once again
purchasable?
Available as a PDF.
Purchasable. Yeah. But you have
Can
armor.
be bought.
They have M10 Wolverines. They have Shermans of 1, 2, 3s, 4s, and 5s. You know, you got half tracks and Greyhounds. So you get all the vehicles, you know, in there that you can use in your games. The nice thing about this rule set is, again, it's universal with any miniatures. You know, whether you're using miniatures from Warlord, Perry, whoever makes a World War II type miniature, you can use those in your games. There's a lot of nice material in here for just, you know, glossary. They have a glossary if you don't understand what a word means. They have do appendix, and they break down by country. So, like, here's a Waffen SS breakdown. If you would throw that under there for me, please, sir. You know, you should be drawing this. You got the camera closer to you than me. So here it shows you how to, you know, divide up your teams so you can build your squads or fire teams or elements. So everything is nicely laid out. So beginner-wise.
Which, as a beginner, because I greatly appreciate that stuff. Okay, here's some stuff to get you started, you know, and as you gain more experience, one, just in gaming in general, and two, in particular with the game, when you decide you want to tweak something and, you know, task organize your unit specific to a mission, you know, you can do that. But, you know, they give you a starting point so you don't have to be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So for people getting into the game, it pretty much will walk you through, you know, getting into World War II. If you've never played World War II skirmish level game, this will definitely get you into it. Yep. The nice thing about this, one of the things, you know, we didn't want to get into a lot of rules because eventually we'll do a play through of this as well.
Yep.
But what I like is the ranges. You know, a lot of games, big frustration on my part is some games, I'm not going to mention the rule system, have a ridiculous limited range.
Yeah, or crazy range bands,
right.
areas,
so,
whatever.
Like, in some games, if you have an M1 Garand, I think it's 20 inches of range, right?
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, and, you know, in scale, you know, that's like, you know, 120 yards.
However, in this game, just going off, they have a bolt action rifle, which is like an Lee Enfield or 1903, where they have a battle rifle. It's what they call battle rifle, which is be an M1 or M1 carbine. The range is 250 inches.
Yeah.
So it's table to table. They understand. You know, the reason I bring that up is because we've had Colin on the show before. Well, quite a while ago. I think when they first announced these games.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah.
And one of the things that Jim and I talked about was ranges. How unrealistic in some games the ranges are. They're so limiting. And, you know, he acknowledged that and said, yes, we understand that. And I want to be fair and clear that I understand that in some games it's for playability. You know, you want the game to be playable. You don't want people sitting on one corner of the table sniping everything that moves. That's why you have terrain. That's why you have line of sight, you know, et cetera, and other suppression and things like that. So, but I do like to see realistic ranges in games.
I was going to say, however, as it turns out, you know, if you're playing 28 millimeter on a 6x4 table, you can snipe across the table.
Yep.
That weapon has that capability. And Lord knows if you've got armor, it will certainly have a weapon system that can reach across the table.
Exactly.
I mean, it is what it is. If you don't like that, then probably should be playing the game at a different game at a different scale.
Exactly.
You know, go play Team Yankee, for instance. You know, something like that. Help me out.
Flames of War?
Flames of War, North Hag. You know, games like that. You know, it's a smaller scale. Your range makes a little more sense that won't necessarily reach across a large table. This is a skirmish level game.
Right.
It is
so
what
the
it
scale,
is.
When you look at scale, I mean, you can play this in 20 mil. You can play this in 15 mil. You can play this Flamethrower. I mean, it's really designed as a skirmish game. So, obviously at a smaller scale, that could be quite interesting.
I mean, yeah, if you cranked it down to 15 mil, you might not be reaching all the way across the table anymore.
Right. So, I wanted to point out what they claim is the key features of this game, because some people ask, well, what makes this game so, unique, if you will. According to Dishdash Games, their key features are forces are built into elements, so players can play real tactics of the day, like scouting, suppressive fire, and movement, which is good. Yeah. Command is an integral part of the game, all levels with officers and NCOs making real difference to the troops under their command. A lot of games, honestly, have command, radius and stuff, so it's based upon how they do it. Yeah. Again, you'll see that in future Let's Play videos. Real ranges of weapons. Bada bing, bada boom.
And I like that. I'm a fan of it.
So battlefield measuring on the battlefield is kept to a minimum. There's no real measuring. I mean, 250 inches is greater than the playfield.
Yeah, your measuring is really your movements.
Yeah. So unique card-based system gives players a tactical advantage in play. Knowing when to use their elements' experience to their best advantage is easy to learn but difficult to master. Card-based game. 5 complete scenarios that teach the players the rules through gameplay. And this is from the publisher Skirmish Singing, the breakthrough game system for skirmish level present-day wargaming, hailed for its unique style, sophisticated gameplay, and extreme realism. So
it has all that. That's for sure.
It sure does. If you like your math, now actually once you get used to it, it's easy.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a very RPG-ish game. We're talking skirmish now.
Yeah, skirmish has a lot of kind of a lot of bookkeeping and math,
but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
And yeah, as we discovered when we played it, once you get through it a little bit and you get used to what's going on, it's not horrible. I'm the guy that likes the easier game, not gonna lie.
So
I don't want to do a lot of bookkeeping if I can help it. And both Normandy and Modern have addressed that, and you don't have that much.
Right. So for the guys here at the SITREP podcast, Marty, do you recommend, or yes, a thumbs up?
Yeah, well,
thumbs down, or eh?
This is literally my entry into World War II, so I would have to say thumbs up.
Okay. So if you're looking for an easy-to-get-into system that self-contained rules right here, you're not getting a lot into the weeds of the World War II history. You get a good background. You get some good unit layouts and understanding of things, with some very realistic ranges and playability. And it's card driven, which is nice for a lot of people because they have all the information for their units right on a card. Right. And you have doctrine cards that come into play as well. So a good system, well laid out book. It's a nice book. You can get it on their website. I think you might even be able to get it in PDF format as well.
Yep.
Again, you can use your own miniatures or your friend's miniatures, so you don't have to go out and buy a whole nother set of miniatures. You can use whatever World War II based miniatures you have and play Ultracombat Normandy. So if you want to get your flavor of World War II, if you're not looking for your modern version, pick up this.
Yep, absolutely.
And if you're really looking for some good modern, pick up this. Again, another good game to get into, especially for people who aren't looking to get into the weeds.
Yeah, and if you are looking to introduce or rope one of your friends into tabletop gaming, these are probably good entry points.
Exactly. So, for Marty, this is Bill, this is the SITREP Podcast. This is a rulebook review of Ultracombat Normandy. Right. I would say part of the Ultracombat series.
Yes.
So
the Ultracombat family.
Yes. So we'll see what happens in future offerings from them. I know they're working on Skirmish Singing Volume 2nd edition.
Yep.
But I would like to see if they come out with other Ultracombat scenarios or books. So in the meantime, thank you for joining us. Please make sure you like, subscribe, follow us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors to help us out, and we will see you on the next program.